And I think that they don't know what to do other than to try and come back to Britain and rebuild themselves as some sort of members of the royal family. Well, absolutely. This is a real crisis for the monarchy. And I think there's more to come out.
They had one job, stay quiet, and they still fumbled it. This week, Harry and Meghan dropped a heated public statement, calling investigative journalist Tom Bower deranged. That word wasn't random. It was loud, emotional, and clearly meant to hit hard. The wild part? The book wasn't even out yet. Within 48 hours, that statement exploded online, and Tom Bower's book shot straight to #1 on Amazon. Instead of shutting it down, they basically gave it free promo, like pressing launch on their own problem. Now, here's what people aren't really clocking right now. This book doesn't just dig into palace drama. It pulls back the curtain on Meghan's life way before Harry was even in the picture. It points at a past she's reportedly tried to keep low-key for years, and that's the part that's making things uncomfortable. And here's the big question that flips everything. If the book is packed with lies, why not sue? Harry is known for taking legal action. He's gone after tabloids, stood in court, and spoken out about media intrusion like it's personal. Legal battles aren't new to him, so why skip this one? They didn't sue when Revenge dropped in 2022 either. Called it lies, said it was nonsense, but no courtroom move. And now, same pattern, no lawsuit, no action, just words. Tom Bower isn't some random blogger. He's a trained barrister, a real lawyer. The way he writes isn't gossip, it's case building. He stacks evidence, tracks details, and documents everything like he's prepping for court. Over 25 books deep, covering powerful figures, politicians, billionaires, and royals. And not one has successfully sued him, not even once. Then came Vancouver, and this is where it got messy. The Sussex squad showed up at the Invictus games, surrounded him, filmed him, and tried to clown a 79-year-old man on social media. But that move backfired fast. By putting him on camera at the event, they actually confirmed he was there, turning him into a verified eyewitness to everything happening in real time. He even later pointed out how they helped him without realizing it. It's hard to overstate how calculated Tom Bower is. Now look closely at their statement. Mr. Bower's commentary has long crossed the line from criticism to fixation. That sounds heavy, but does it hold up? He wrote one book about them, then another project in between, plus a biography on the Beckhams. That's not obsession, that's just doing his job and staying booked. And then comes the line that really stands out. Those seeking deranged, conspiracy, and melodrama know exactly where to find him. That word deranged wasn't random at all. It's their word, their signal, and Meghan knew exactly what she was doing. That wasn't random, that was targeted. A full-on call to action. Point one of the most aggressive online fan bases straight at a 79-year-old journalist, then flip it and paint him as the dangerous one. That's a wild move no matter how you look at it. When it's true and you're under pressure, you drop a press statement and hope it controls the damage. They chose the statement, not the courtroom, and that choice says a lot. The book was already being serialized in the Times before it even dropped, and what surfaced so far is only scratching the surface. Then comes the part that really has people talking. Queen allegedly told a close friend, in Tom Bower's words, Meghan has brainwashed Harry. That's not coming from some random tabloid or unnamed source thrown into the mix. That's a senior royal who's been inside that world for decades. If she really said that privately, it hits very differently. It sounds less like gossip and more like a personal viewpoint shaped by what she's seen firsthand. Now look at this moment. It's tense. Honeymoon just wrapped, and there's a sit-down at William and Catherine's Kensington Palace apartment. The brothers are trying to smooth things over, trying to make it work. But according to Bower, the meeting heated up fast. William pointed his finger, and Meghan fired back, saying, "If you don't mind, get your finger out of my face." That's the future king, in his own home, and that moment reportedly shifted everything. People in that room allegedly realized right then this wasn't getting fixed. And then, things start to shift even more. The disappearing act begins. Harry switching up like that shocked a lot of people. He changed his phone number and didn't even tell his own family. Friends from his entire past? Cut off overnight. Some didn't even get invites to the wedding after party, and that raised eyebrows fast. According to his former royal butler, who confirmed it publicly, those friendships didn't just fade.
I do think the problem with Meghan is that she never actually says anything in interviews. It is so carefully controlled, so carefully chosen what she's going to say that she says really pretty well nothing. Now, is it because she's got nothing to say, or is it because she is fearful that if she did move off the benign script, she would actually get into real trouble? I think it's the latter. She's clever enough to know that to retain her mystery and status, she should reveal nothing about herself.
Harry was pulled away from them. Then things started looking shaky on another level. There's talk about a trip tied to trying to secure funding, with reports saying Harry flew out hoping to lock in major financial backing to keep his charity going. On a flight, Dr. Sophie Chand reportedly presented a full brand audit, something serious, not just opinions. Around 50 major corporations were surveyed, and the result, his public image had taken a major hit. Meghan was reportedly labeled a reputational liability, a phrase that hit hard and spread fast. And Harry's reaction? Instead of addressing the numbers, he compared himself to Johnny Depp. That comparison raised a lot of questions at the time. Not long after, Sophie Chand was out, and the situation got even messier with public accusations and the charity reportedly falling apart. That whole situation didn't stay quiet, it kept building. Then came the media side, and it didn't look much better. Harry's Polo documentary reportedly ranked way down the list, far from a breakout moment. At a Netflix showcase, comedian John Mulaney even made jokes about them in front of top industry names. Meghan's project not even mentioned in the keynote, which had people talking. And the response? Shift the narrative fast. Show up where cameras are already rolling. They are disaster tourists. That line blew up fast. Thousands of people shared it, and it stuck. Every move meant to look real or relatable seemed to bounce back in the worst way. Instead of fixing the image, it made things louder, messier, and harder to control. And this is where the pressure really kicks in, because Tom Bower's whole strategy, built across 25 books, is digging into the parts of a story people try the hardest to keep hidden. Not surface-level drama, but the stuff buried deep that no one wants back in the spotlight. So the big question comes back again. Who was Meghan before Harry? Before the titles and headlines, she was known for being a briefcase model on Deal or No Deal. She's spoken about how much she disliked that role, saying it made her feel reduced to just standing there, waiting to be picked. At that point, her career wasn't exactly taking off. Failed pilots, small roles, quick guest appearances on shows most people barely remember. By standard Hollywood measures, she wasn't a major name, not a breakout star, and not someone expected to become widely known through acting alone. Then came Suits, a cable legal drama filmed in Toronto, and that's when things started shifting.
Dedicated to you.
Thank you so much. But can you believe that years ago we were talking about Meghan Markle running for president? And just, I mean, what a decline, how irrelevant they've become today.
According to Bower's reporting in Revenge and now revisited in Betrayal, a pattern starts to show. Her first husband, Trevor Engelson, they were together for 7 years and married in Jamaica in 2011. Friends described it as real, genuine love. But once Suits picked up and she moved to Toronto, the relationship ended within 2 years. Reports say Engelson was completely blindsided and didn't see it coming. Then came chef Corey Vitiello. They lived together for about 2 years, but that relationship also ended around the same time she was introduced to Harry through a mutual friend. And this is the pattern Bower keeps pointing to. Across relationships, friendships, and connections, before the palace ever entered the picture, he claims there's a consistent shift. The moment a new opportunity appeared, the previous chapter seemed to close quickly, with no looking back. For years, way before the palace, before Harry even entered the picture, questions were already floating around about Meghan's social circle in Hollywood. We're talking private events, elite spaces, and connections with extremely wealthy people that most never even get close to. Those conversations didn't just disappear. They stayed in the background, never fully addressed, and never clearly shut down. And that's exactly the kind of territory Tom Bower focuses on. His whole career is built on digging into those unanswered questions, so it raises a bigger one. How much of the version of Meghan the public saw was real, and how much was carefully shaped over time? That's the angle that keeps coming back. For years now, discussion around the children has stayed highly guarded, with very limited public details since their births. That level of privacy has only added more curiosity and debate. Because if the circumstances around their births were ever legally challenged, the impact wouldn't be small, it would be massive, affecting titles and succession in a serious way. Now look at how it all started raising eyebrows. There was no traditional hospital steps photo, something that's usually expected with royal births. That break from tradition stood out immediately. The level of privacy around the delivery felt very different from what people had seen before, and it got people talking fast. Then, fast forward to June 2025, Meghan posted a video on Instagram dancing with Harry, visibly showing a baby bump. A lot of people saw that as a direct response to all the ongoing questions. But critics didn't hold back. They started questioning what they were seeing, even suggesting it might not be real. The debate didn't slow down, it got louder. And here's the key point. Harry and Meghan have never directly addressed these claims.
Let me move on to Meghan and Harry. I think that they are at the moment facing a real crisis. Meghan and Harry's crisis, completely of their own making, is they have no major projects, no major money earners. And so they're more desperate than ever. And I think that they don't know what to do other than to try and come back to Britain and rebuild themselves as some sort of members of the royal family.
Not during the Oprah interview, not in the Netflix documentary, not in Spare, not anywhere. That silence has stretched on for years, and it keeps the conversation alive because people expect a clear answer. Tom Bower's betrayal focuses right on the period when these questions were at their peak, and that timing matters. Now shift to what's coming next, because this is where things get real. Australia, mid-April, their first visit in 7 years. The last time they were there, back in October 2018, they were working royals, newly married, with massive public support. That was when Meghan announced her pregnancy on Australian soil. The crowds were huge, the media coverage was everywhere. It was the high point. Now compare that to what they're walking into. A Change.org petition is already circulating, calling for Australian taxpayers not to cover a single dollar of security costs. The argument? They no longer represent the crown. They're private citizens now. And that shift in public mood is impossible to ignore. They chose that. That's the energy behind the petition, and it's blunt. Treat them exactly like what they decided to be, private citizens. No special treatment, no public funding, nothing extra. So what are they actually heading to Australia for? Meghan is set to headline a luxury weekend retreat in Sydney, and this isn't low-key. The ticket prices start at $2,699. Want more access? A VIP package, including a group photo with Meghan, jumps to $3,199. Only 300 women allowed, making it exclusive and expensive at the same time. Meanwhile, Harry is scheduled to keynote a workplace mental health summit in Melbourne. And that's where critics start raising eyebrows again, because there have been reports and online discussions about how people connected to his projects have been treated, including claims involving Sophie Chant after internal issues around his charity surfaced. That contrast has people questioning the message versus the reality. Royal commentator Rob Shooter didn't sugarcoat it. He said what a lot of people are already thinking: this isn't a royal tour. In his view, they're showing up as private individuals while still benefiting from the attention tied to the royal family situation. Then, royal historian added something even sharper. He pointed to Australia as a turning point, a place that played a role in the chain of events that eventually led to their royal exit. And now, this trip is being framed as some kind of big return. But according to those accounts, the last visit may have left deeper issues behind the scenes. And this final detail sticks with people. That was 2018, when crowds showed up for free just to catch a glimpse. Fast forward to 2026, and now people are being asked to pay nearly $3,000 just to stand in the same space as Meghan. That shift alone has people talking. Now line up the timing, because this is where it gets intense. Tom Bower's book drops March 26th, and just weeks later, they're landing in Australia in mid-April.
That means every journalist, every interviewer, every camera pointed at them will already be loaded with questions from that book. There's no buffer, no gap. It all hits at once.
The one thing he doesn't want now is even more controversy with Harry and Meghan, which of course is just what they do want, because they're going to find more interest in themselves to get another series, to get some sort of exposure, to get money.
Before that statement, the book already had solid buzz building. But after the statement, it shot straight to #1 on Amazon before a single copy even shipped. That's not normal. That's momentum fueled by controversy. Across social media, people were saying the same thing over and over. I wasn't even interested until they responded. I pre-ordered it because of that. That reaction didn't come from one place. It was everywhere. And the media picked it up fast. Major outlets didn't just cover the book, they covered the reaction to the book. People Magazine, Daily Beast, AOL, IB Times, Parade. The story went global, and it kept spreading. There's actually a name for this kind of blowback: the Streisand effect. Barbra Streisand once tried to suppress photos of her Malibu home through legal action, and instead it made those images explode across the internet. Way more people saw them than ever would have otherwise. And that's the key point here. Trying to shut something down can end up amplifying it way beyond control. They didn't avoid it. They ran straight into it. These are just excerpts, just small pieces of a much bigger picture. The full book drops March 26th, and the chapters still unreleased? Those are the ones creating real tension. They reacted before even seeing everything, responded fast, pushed out a statement, called Bauer deranged, and turned him into a headline overnight. Think about how fast this flipped. 7 years ago, Australia welcomed them with massive crowds and non-stop support. Now, there's a petition trying to block their Lizard completely. A book sitting at #1 before people have even read it. Events charging thousands just to be nearby. And questions, big ones, that still haven't been clearly answered even after years. And right in the middle of it all, a past being dragged back into the spotlight by someone they can't easily silence, can't legally challenge, and can't ignore. They told Tom Bauer to stop, but what actually happened? They made sure the spotlight got even brighter. Now, everyone's watching, everyone's questioning, and nobody's looking away. If you've made it this far, you already see how deep this goes. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this backfired, or was it calculated? Hit like if this opened your eyes, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and share this with someone who needs to see what's really unfolding.